What's up, friends? It's Halloween week. Happy Halloween week in the Calumet Wilderness. I am Sam Love. Got a new mini series I want to do for you this week. Eerie Adventures in the Calumet Wilderness. Come on along. Well, if you know anything, you know the Calumet region has long had a bad reputation, a place of murders and industrial pollution and gang violence and all the rest of it. And certainly our natural and undeveloped areas have long had a bad reputation. The yuppies and the institutions don't like when people talk this way, but facts are facts, my friends. Although I will say, in all my years of hiking and wandering around, I've never come across a body, never even remotely been endangered, or come across anyone who is a threat to me. But I've certainly had some odd encounters. So in the spirit of that, not glamorizing or romanticizing any of the so-called negative aspects of our history, I thought this week I'd share what some of those odd encounters that I've had out here in the Calumet Wilderness. And I'm going to start out here in one of my favorites, which is the Coulter Preserve, which is a Shirley Hines Land Trust preserve on the Gary-Forded border. This is a beautiful preserve. It's named after John Merle Coulter, who was an advisor to Henry Coles at the University of Chicago in the late 19th century. So Coulter has no local connection. He didn't do any studies out here. I think he did most of his studying out in the West in Colorado. But he was, instrumental in letting Dr. Coles do his thing. Well, Dr. Coles wouldn't have been Dr. Coles at that time, would he? The area was sand mined for many decades, but that actually created some space for a lot of native plants to grow back. So you've got a great mix out here and these beautiful oak savannas back here. Years ago, some friends and I, we just wander all about back here. That was before they put up a polite sign saying not to. What we wanted to do was see if there was a way to connect from here into the Tolleson Dunes, part of the national park, which back then was called the Inland Marsh. They did a little rebranding there. But yeah, I mean, this is easily one of the more eerie areas that I've hiked in, and not because of people, there's like nobody out here, but just some of the landforms. Yeah, some of the dunes back there are so straight that it looks like you almost think they were mounds made by Native Americans. You know, if you look at maps of the dune and swale on the west side of Gary from above, it looks perfectly straight, and we joke that there is indeed straight lines in nature. They're on the west side of Gary. But when you actually get on the ground, they're not that straight. They move a little bit, they're a little uneven. But the ones back here, it just looked too uniform, you know? It really looked like something humans made. So I don't know, I'm not saying that's the case, just that's what it looked like. You know, what else have we seen out here? Just odd things, you know, like rusted out old vehicles. You know, there's a couple of those back here. We saw another time where somebody had spread some deer corn out. And there was a hunting stand. It's just a lot of it, you know. It wasn't just a little pile like you'd usually see. I mean, it was spread out for yards, and that's kind of odd, right? There was another time when we were hiking back there. You know, we come over this little ridge, and if you've ever seen pictures of the Tunguska Explosion in Russia about a century ago, it looked like a miniature version of that. You know, it's not like you can see far off into the horizon out here the way the terrain is, but in this little sandy valley, flattened. And it, like, I didn't notice like a spiral pattern or anything like that. Just every tree was flattened out there. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. No, it wasn't. It was the second damnedest thing I've ever seen out here. Let me show you the first damnedest thing. You know, one of these days, some of you is going to notice some kind of weird thing over my shoulder behind me that I'm not noticing right now. You just know it's coming, don't you? Yeah, if rusted, shot up old vehicles and eerily straight sand dune slash who knows what, if that's not creepy enough for you, there used to be this monument, obelisk, grotto, sculpture, I don't know what the hell to call it. It was made out of stone, had a base, a shaft, and whomever's was putting this together added some very interesting adornments, a lot of bones, and not just little, but you know, leg bones and back bones. I'm assuming they were animals. Arrows, feathers, string, plastic doodads, even a gun. They had a damn handgun. The chamber was broken on it, but still, yeah, that thing was definitely eerie. It was removed, I'm gonna guess maybe 5 years ago, or most of it was removed. I was looking around to see if there was any weird bits left over. There's a metal pipe here. Oh, and some plastic over here. But I'm gonna leave all this in situ. So what do you think, friends? Coulter Preserve, eerie or not? Well, I'll be back with another Eerie adventure in the Calumet Wilderness just in a couple of days here. So please hit like, please hit subscribe if you haven't, please share with your friends, please leave a comment, and most of all, just be careful out there, all right? Happy Halloween. Take care. Bye.